Hello and welcome. In this presentation we will be working with group data, and from that group data we will go on to calculate the mean and then move on to look at strategies in calculating the median. Now let's just look at this data here. It's group data about the number of laps walked by different students in a walkathon. From this we can see between 0 and 9 laps were walked by 11 students. 35 students walked between 10 and 19 laps, and so on all the way through to one student walked somewhere between 40 and 49 laps. If I was to go on to plot the histogram, this is how it would look. Now, the trick to working with group data is actually to look at calculating the mean for each particular category, or for each particular row in the column here. So, for instance, if I look at someone that's walked, well, there's one person here, and I know that they've walked somewhere between 40 and 49 laps. I don't know exactly how many laps they would have walked. Some may have been 40, or that person may have been 40, or they may have been 49. So I have to provide an estimate. And what I do in this circumstance is pick the number that's in the middle, either the mean or the median. Now, so for instance, if I selected a random person, they walked between 0 and 9 laps, how many have they walked? Well, 0 or 9 or some other number. So what I would do is I'd look for a number between 0 and 9. So I'd look for the median or the mean of that, which would be dividing by 2, which would be 4.5 laps. So on average, 11 people would have walked 4.5 laps. And if I moved on to the next row here, okay, 35 people would have walked somewhere between 10 and 19 laps, which, well, the midpoint would be 14.5 all the way through. Just keep doing the same thing till I get to 40 to 49 laps. The midpoint there would be 44.5 laps. Now, to work out the mean, I need to add up all the laps that everybody has walked and divide that by the total number of laps that has been walked. So the total number of laps would be, if I added all these up, and if I add all those up, I believe I get 104. And I will show you the actual maths calculation we would have to do. So here we go here. I would say 4.5 multiplied by 11. In other words, 11 people would have walked on average 4.5 laps. 35 people on average would have walked 14.5 laps. 42 would have walked 24.5 laps. 15 would on average have walked 34.5 laps. And one person on average would have walked 44.5 laps. And I would have to divide that by the total number of people that walked laps, which in this case would be 104. So if you put those numbers in your calculator and you're very careful with where you place the brackets, that will give you an answer. And the answer to this particular question, which was calculating the mean number of laps walked. In summary, we work out a midpoint number of laps, or median number of laps, and assume that these number of people have walked those numbers of laps. So